Good morning, folks. This is Sunday, 21st and 11:15 a.m. In UK. So, what is the special day today? It's the Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day, everyone. And you don't, if you're a father and if you got children um, and you got a family, enjoy the day today. Okay, have a lovely, lovely day today and just enjoy it. But if you're not married and if you're still single men, you're still a father. As long as you're a man, you're still a father, because you could be having nieces and nephews. So you also, I'm telling men as well. So enjoy the day today. Happy Father's Day to all. Okay, so have a lovely time. Okay, so I'm connecting that with the father's love today. Okay, well, when I say father's love, it's God's love for us. Okay, so the verses taken from the scripture is Song of Songs, chapter 6, and it's verses 13. So let me read that. Um, so it says, come back, O Shulamite, come back, that we may gaze on you. So basically, what it's saying is trying to um, how God is trying to express His love to us. So, and He's saying like, come back, come back, come back to His first love. God's first love, like how the church was before. So let me say, I think over the years, I think we have so much of deviated from the church, and what we're trying to do is what we were doing all these years is we were trying to do so many things that we want to do so many things in church, like do that ministry, this ministry, youth ministry, children ministry, elders ministry, and we were like running and doing all sorts of things in the church, isn't it? So finally, I think when COVID, so we were really running, we were really running fast. So with COVID-19, I think God kind of grounded all of us, isn't it? So we had more time, we had plenty of time not to get in, not to spend our time in church activities, but we had all that time to stay in the presence of the Lord, isn't it? So we connected with the God the Father, okay? And we had that one-to-one connection with God, and that is how the church was before. But over the years, I think we have just contaminated everything, isn't it? We have deviated so much from the church, the original church life, and we've been running, doing doing all sorts of things. And I'm not really sure. Maybe yes, for some people, yes, God must have told to do it. But some people just do it because we just got used to it so much. Um, so this time, the COVID-19 lockdown period was a superb time, where everybody was like, because this happened all over the world, so everybody were like really grounded, and families were staying at home, and they had so much of time together, and I suppose families, they just got to know each other. I mean, parents got to know children better, husband and wife got to know better. They had a good family life. Isn't that how it was when God actually created the world? That's how it was, isn't it? So I hear like God saying now, come back to me, come back to my first love. That means, like spend time with Him more. So basically, from connecting with that, I'm on a 21-day fast at the moment, and my fasting ends on the 30th of June. So so I'm just making use of this time. I know certain some restrictions have been lifted in some countries with COVID-19. Um, so I'm just making use of this time so I can connect to God better, by spending more time with Him and listening to God and listening for His directions as well. So basically, this scripture, yeah, like God is saying, okay, you've been running everywhere, doing all sorts of things, and deviated from the theology and all sorts of things. But now, just stay with me, just one to one, just me and you. And guys, just do that. When I say guys, not just men, but just people of God. Just do that and see. Like now, because this COVID-19 is just not going to. It's not the peak time, but obviously it's going to stay in the system for at least another 1 year, isn't it? And when we go back to church, it's just going to be so uncomfortable. Like, how are we going to pray in the church? Are we going to wear all these masks and keeping social distancing and um, um, then after each service cleansing the cleaning the church and all that? It's just going to be so much hassle and so uncomfortable way of living, isn't it? Well, they call it the new normal. So they're saying it like the, the new normal, the new normal. Okay, so whatever it is, it's just going to be so much different, isn't it? So even with character wise, everybody is going to be so different when we all go back to our normal lives, which is not going to happen in the next few months. I suppose we have to wait till end of this year for all these um, COVID-19 to just go off. But we don't have to think that it's still there, but we just carry on doing it. But at the same time, we have to listen to the government instructions as well. So we have to listen to the laws as well. So I was just thinking, like, how difficult it will be, like, for pastors to open the church and even to, like, you know have a church service, because they have to wear all these masks and all these gadgets and everything, and then all these plastic covers on top of that. And can you just imagine? And it's not going to be comfortable, isn't it? And even if, like, you're going to sit, and how are you going to really do that? I don't know. I suppose now we have all got used to this online system. Maybe it's like much better now to worship online. At least it's comfortable, isn't it? But anyway, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what God is leading us, and how we are going to um, how we're going to start these churches again, or what we are going to do, Christians, what we are going to do in the future. But there is one message to there's one message from me, which God has been showing me for the past couple of years, which I want to share that now. Um, God is calling a lot of people into media ministry. Okay, so when I say media ministry, it can be YouTube, it can be Instagram, Twitter. What else do you have? Facebook, all sorts of these social media platforms. So the reason for that is, like, now we know that now everything is going to go digital, and it's the media that's going to take the messages, isn't it? So if we went to a church, there's only going to be like very few people attending the church, isn't it? But if you give a sermon on the online, all over the world they can view that, and all over the world they can view that, and just see how many views you're getting that. Because recently I heard a pastor saying, Indian Tamil church pastor saying, when he was having the church service in his own church, um, in his own church, he had only about 300 people attending the church. But now, because after this lockdown, when he was doing on YouTube, he was doing services every day on YouTube, and he said on a Sunday service, 5,000 people, he had 5,000 views just only for one Sunday service. So can you imagine that? 5,000 people around the world. How many people are viewing that? How many people are getting connected to that sermon? So there was a transition when Pastor Billy Graham, many of you know that, when he passed away, the transition happened at that time. The new era, the new maybe I could say that it's the new church. The formation of a new media church formed was a sign to start at that time. So because Billy Graham was the older generation, the previous generations, because he did lots of it. He did the difficult ministry, isn't it? Because he went around the world preaching, having crusades all over the world, which was a difficult job. So that time, the transition, it changed. And if you want to look at if you want to listen to more about it in clear about the transition when Billy Graham, after Billy Graham's death, which is now going into media ministry, which is when it started. Pastor Benny Hinn in the USA, in California, he's done a very good sermon about the transition from after Billy Graham's death, how the transition happened into media ministry. So just click on Pastor Benny's sermons, and then you would find in one of the sermons nearing around that time where he was prophesying that this is what was going to happen. So some pastors and prophets, they knew that the churches were going to shut down. But obviously, people didn't know how it was going to shut down. So I think I should say like, oh, welcome to media ministry. So God is calling lots of people, okay, lots of people into this media ministry now. Because how many of the people, I'm new to YouTube as well. And first of all, when I did the YouTube 4 years ago, when God told me to do the media ministry, I was so reluctant. And he kept on saying to me, because he stopped me going to church in 2016. And he said that I have to have this, the fellowship with him one-to-one, okay? So he cut me off from all my mentors and, even some like, unwanted friends. So at that time, I heard God saying that he's not going to take me back to church, but I have to do church from home. And I couldn't quite understand that. I couldn't understand at that time, because I was thinking, how can I do church from home? I thought maybe he's asking me to do like, I used to do Bible studies and stuff like that. Ladies Bible studies and ladies ministry in my house some years ago. So I thought maybe he's asking me to do that, but I was not really interested in that, because I knew I've done that and I don't want to do that again. I wanted to do something different. So um, so every time I went to God during the last 4 years, every time when I went to God and asked him, can I go to a church? Please, can I go to a church? And he would say no. He'll say no, because my house is my church. And I couldn't understand that. But I can understand that now, because now he's given me this YouTube platform. Now I'm starting to do more videos, and I'm learning, as you know, that I'm a new YouTuber. So I'm now starting to learn this, and this is how I love to. So this is really basically, it's like preaching from home, isn't it? Not physically people coming to my house, but through the media. Okay, so there you go. So that's the prophecy that God gave me, and that's the confirmation that he gave me. So I understand what he was preparing me for all these 4 years. Okay, so if that encourages, it might encourage some of you. So if anybody is waiting for this media ministry, don't be reluctant. Now is the time, just start. So you don't have to be a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker. I'm new as well. And the last thing I hated was to go on this media and just talk in front of the camera, like, oh, I hate to go on Zoom and stuff like that, okay? I'm still not with it. I'm still not with it. Um, if God said to me, if he tells me, don't do it now, oh wow, I'll be the most happiest person ever. But the world is changing, so we need to change with the world. So we need to move towards like how we have to think forward, keep thinking forward, not going backwards. So thinking forward means like, what can we do to our next generations? So how do we encourage them to step into ministry? Like, how do we put them in that track? So that is what we need to think. Like, we have to think in the next 10 years, 20 years, how is the ministry going to be? So we have to uh, prepare the younger generation to that level. Okay, so guys, okay, I'm going to stop now, and have a lovely Sunday, and enjoy the Father's Day again, and just remember, thank God for everything. Thank God for everything, because he's also our Father. And um, enjoy the time with your families, and have a blessed lovely week until I see you next time. Okay, from Auntie Ann Videos. Bye bye for now.